Whiskers and Paws were two of the most skilled spacefaring cat heros for hire in the galaxy. They were known for their bravery, their cunning, and their ability to get the job done, no matter what it took. So when the human colony of Terra Nova found itself cut off from its food shipments due to the pirate activities of Fluffy the Feline Warlord and his armada, they knew exactly who to call. Whiskers and Paws received the distress call while they were lounging on a sunny asteroid, enjoying a plate of freshly caught space tuna. They looked at each other, and then leapt into action. "Looks like we've got a job to do," Whiskers said, licking his chops. "Indeed, the price is right for heroics," Paws replied. "But first, let's finish our tuna." After they had finished their meal, they set course for Terra Nova. As they flew through the vast expanse of space, they discussed their plan. "So, how are we going to take down Fluffy's flagship, the Empty Bowl?" Whiskers asked. Paws stroked his chin thoughtfully. "We'll need to be creative," he said. "Fluffy is no fool, and his ship is heavily armed. We'll need to find a weakness, something that he hasn't thought of." As they approached Terra Nova, they could see the devastation that Fluffy's pirate armada had wrought. Cargo ships lay in ruins, and the colony was in chaos. But Whiskers and Paws were undaunted. They flew straight towards the Empty Bowl, their small ship weaving and dodging through the hail of laser fire. "Ready to do this?" Whiskers asked. "Born ready," Paws replied. They flew straight towards the flagship, and then suddenly swerved off to the side, narrowly avoiding a barrage of laser fire. As they did, they released a small pod, which sailed towards the Empty Bowl undetected. The pod was filled with a special substance that Whiskers and Paws had developed, a highly concentrated form of catnip that had a powerful sedative effect. As the pod attached itself to the hull of the flagship, the catnip began to spread, seeping into the air vents and the ventilation system. Soon, the crew of the Empty Bowl were all fast asleep, their heads drooping as the sedative took effect. Whiskers and Paws flew in, their ship docking with the hull of the flagship. They made their way to the bridge, where they found Fluffy himself, slumped over his console, snoring loudly. "Looks like our plan worked," Whiskers said. Paws nodded, and then set to work disabling the ship's weapon systems. With his nimble paws, he worked his way through the complex controls, shutting down one system after another. Whiskers stood guard, his sharp eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. Finally, they were done. Fluffy's flagship was disabled, and his armada was in disarray. As they flew back to Terra Nova, they could see the relief on the faces of the colonists below. They had saved the day, and saved the colony from certain disaster. But as they landed their ship, they were greeted with a surprise. A group of humans had gathered, holding up signs that read "Whiskers and Paws for President." The cats looked at each other, amazed. They had never thought of themselves as political figures. But as they looked out at the crowd, they realized that they had become more than just spacefaring swashbuckling cats. They had become heroes, symbols of hope and bravery in a dark and dangerous universe. And who knows, maybe one day, they would take up that offer and run for office. But for now, they were content to enjoy their newfound fame and the adoration of the people. As they walked through the crowd, shaking paws and signing autographs, they couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. They had done what they had set out to do, but more importantly they had done it with style. But they also knew that their work wasn't done. There were still other threats to interplanetary commerce, still other pirates and villains like the deceptively cute cat assassin Murder Mittens who would try to disrupt the fragile balance of the galaxy. And so Whiskers and Paws set off again, their ship soaring through the stars, ready for whatever came their way. As they flew towards their next adventure, Paws turned to Whiskers and said, "You know, we make a pretty good team." Whiskers smiled. "That we do, my friend. That we do." And with that, they set their course for the unknown, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. For Whiskers and Paws, there was always a new adventure waiting, always a new challenge to be overcome. But no matter what came their way, they knew that they could face it together, as spacefaring swashbuckling cats, ready to take on the universe one adventure at a time.